Stettler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A few weeks ago, the government announced that it was going to begin public consultations on the OHS recommendations from the technical working groups as part of the Farm and Ranch workplace legislation. These online and other consultations will take 11 weeks, ending mid-January. It's also been reported that the government has sat on these recommendations for 7 months and are just now releasing all the technical information, which means they were completed about the same time as the Labour and Employment Standard working groups. Minister, why the delay?
The Honourable Minister of Labour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of the work that our government has done to ensure the rights of farm workers in Alberta and that they have the same protections that farm workers across the country have had for years. We received with gratitude the work of the technical working groups. The OHS group spent significant time because it is technical information. We needed to take time to review the recommendations of the technical working groups, as well as translating that into plain language summaries, so that when we went out to talk to farmers and ranchers during a time when they would have time to be able to respond, they would be able to respond to all the recommendations.
Here. First supplemental.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Given that the Honourable Minister of Labour stated that the delay was due to harvest, but the report was completed in March or April, long before the normal harvest, which is when these OHS working groups recommended were completed. Minister, what is the real reason your government delayed the release of almost 200 pages of technical details 7 months after completion, but are only giving farmers and the public less than 3 months to consult on these recommendations?
They're not listening.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we promised Albertans that prior to making any changes to the regulations, that they would have an opportunity to review those recommendations and provide their feedback. And we have followed through on that promise, Mr. Speaker. All the technical working group reports are now posted online. As well, we've taken the time to do a plain language summary to be able to assist farmers and ranchers when reviewing this information, making sure that we are having safe workplaces and that we are making life better for farm and ranch workers is a priority for this government. Jason Kenney and the Conservatives would not be supportive of this work and information.
Honourable Minister, second supplemental.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Given that it's a given that the government is desperately trying to give the impression it believes in proper consultation, and given that we have seen time and time again that the approach is all sizzle and no steak, Minister, given that you will be introducing the OHS bill later in this session, wasn't the 7-month delay nothing more than to give your department time to work on your bill in such a way as to make passing farm and ranch safety regulations easier in 2018?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, that question had a lot to chew on, but I wouldn't have called it steak in that case. I'm very proud of the work that our government has been doing to ensure that farm workers in Alberta have the same rights and protections that farm workers across the country have had for years. And so thank you to the technical working groups and all who participated, and I'd like to thank the farmers and ranchers, the owners and operators who are right now giving us their very valuable feedback into the draft regulations and the technical working group recommendations. Their work is appreciated. I will continue to do everything I can to keep Alberta's workers safe and to engage with Albertans about these important changes.